Today, we're talking about the taxiing of this aircraft. No matter how experienced you are, there's always something new to grab from this video. I'm Tyrant, a real-world fighter pilot, and my aim is to give you the real fighter pilot insight, to enhance your playability in DCS, and more importantly, to change your mindset from a casual flyer to a real fighter pilot. Stick around till the end, because today's video is packed with things even real pilots sometimes forget. Today's content includes checks before taxi, ejection drill, correct taxiing procedure, and the most common mistakes beginner pilots make. We've completed our after startup checks, and now we're ready for the final checks before taxiing. In the real world, pilots call it the 444 checks because we perform 4 checks on the left console, 4 on the front, and 4 on the right. Let's start from the left console. Flaps down, check manually to ensure you've correctly lowered takeoff flaps. Then glance at the T9 panel and confirm the indicator light. Speed brake in. In the MiG-21, this switch is on the throttle. Always ensure it's retracted. If you take off with air brakes extended, you'll struggle to accelerate. Your takeoff run will be longer than normal and on a short runway. That's a recipe for disaster. Canopy down and locked. Confirm with the master caution light. If the canopy isn't locked properly, the master caution will blink. This is critical. Pilots in my country have lost canopies mid-air and somehow still managed to land safely. You don't want to be that story. Aileron booster switch on. These boosters reduce stick force during flight. They operate hydraulically, so make sure this switch is on before taxi. Moving to the front console. Nose wheel brake, off. Do you know why this exists? During taxi, the nose wheel needs to turn freely left and right, but during takeoff or landing, that's dangerous. Because if it swivels at high speed, you'll lose directional control instantly. So keep it unlocked for taxi and locked before takeoff. Compass. Check and press the fast slave button. 2 lights on. Arm light stabilizer and trim neutral. The ARM regulator controls horizontal tail movement based on stick travel. At low speeds, it should be in the long arm position. If this system malfunctions, your aircraft's response changes dramatically. And that's how many accidents begin. Hydraulic pressure. Check 210 plus or -1. Hydraulics are life in the MiG-21. Lose them and you lose control. If that happens, your only option is ejection. So keep your eyes on that gauge. Now to the right console. Press and check that there are no warning lights on the warning panel. Sometimes bulbs fail, so press to confirm they work. Check pneumatic pressure within limits and ensure all required switches are on. Finally, check controls. Full and free movement. Move the stick around and feel for abnormalities. You'll notice hydraulic pressure fluctuating, and here's why. The flight control system uses ailerons, elevators, and rudders. They're linked via push-pull rods. When air flows over these control surfaces at high speed, it creates large aerodynamic forces. To help pilots overcome this, 3 hydraulic boosters, 2 for ailerons and 1 for the elevator, reduce control stick force. So when you move the stick, the boosters activate. And that's the reason for the hydraulic pressure fluctuation you see. In real life, pilots don't do all this alone. Once checks are complete, you signal the ground crew. They remove the air bleed covers, and only then the aircraft becomes fully mission ready. After that, get clearance for taxi.
Kudasi, in field 1. Request taxi to runway.
Before transmitting, listen for ongoing RT calls, then request taxi only when the frequency is clear. Hold brakes. Advance power to 80%. In real aircraft, it's usually 60%, but in DCS, 60% isn't enough. At 80%, gently release brakes and let the aircraft roll forward. Apply brakes again and stop. This confirms your brakes are serviceable. You can call out, brakes, serviceable. Now let's do the ejection drill. This is not just a formality. it can save your life. Feet on rudder pedals, sit erect, head on headrest, back on backrest, visor down, chin strap fixed, leg restrainers connected, elbows and chin tucked in, pull firing handle with both hands. Remember it, practice it, because when it's needed, you won't have time to think. Advance power to 80%, then release brakes. Once the aircraft starts rolling, reduce throttle to maintain steady taxi speed. Many players make this mistake. They release brakes first and then apply power. Let's see what happens then. The aircraft yaws uncontrollably to one side, and even with rudder and brakes, it's hard to recover because you don't yet have momentum. So, the correct method: apply power first, then release brakes. Momentum equals control. Don't overuse brakes during taxi. Excessive braking drops pneumatic pressure and could lead to brake failure after landing. Maintain a slightly higher taxi speed instead. That's how real pilots do it. During taxi, we perform taxi instrument checks. At the first turn, aircraft turning right, needle to right, ball to left. Gyro compass increasing, crossing 030. Artificial horizon, slight pitch, no bank. Radio compass, needle pointing to beacon. Always maintain the center line. And here's a golden tip: don't look close, look far. If you've drifted from the center line, don't fight it with brakes right away. Look far ahead. Aim to meet the center line smoothly at distance. That's what real pilots do. When I was in basic training, I used to jab brakes hard to fix my taxi path. That made things worse. Later I learned, smooth corrections come from looking far. Give it a try and comment how it worked for you. The correct taxi speed? About the walking pace of a man. That's how I learned, and it works every time. Let's quickly understand the brake system itself. The braking system works on pneumatic pressure. When you squeeze the brake lever, pressure applies to the wheels proportionally.
The more you squeeze, the harder the brakes.
To stop straight, keep rudders neutral and apply brakes evenly. To turn, apply rudder more than 15 degrees to one side, then press the brake lever. That side's wheel will stop and the aircraft will pivot around it. For a gentle turn, light pressure. For a tight turn, more pressure.
Simple, right?
I hope you learned something valuable about taxiing today. If any parts are unclear, leave a comment and I'll explain further. Next video, we'll learn the takeoff procedure in the MiG-21. If you haven't subscribed yet, do it now and share this video with your aviation community. Until next time, safe flight and happy landings.